and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So today's video, we are going to be talking about Chalene Johnson. If you don't know who Chalene Johnson is, she was a Beachbody super trainer. So if you don't know what a Beachbody super trainer is, the super trainers are essentially the people who make the workouts and or film the workouts. So for example, people like Autumn Calabrese, Joel Freeman, those people who, when you look at the Beachbody workouts, they're the ones instructing it and are in the videos. They're the personal trainers, right? So Chalene Johnson used to work with Beachbody. She also has programs like PiYo still with them. I think Turbo Jam is one of them, and a couple other programs she's done with them in the past. And she recently uploaded a video onto YouTube officially talking about why she left Beachbody as a super trainer, why she left them, why she is no longer doing programs with them, like anything new. And with that, she really goes in depth about, in my opinion, toxicity that happens behind the screen that we don't get to see, that the MLM reps don't get to see. So I feel like this gives us kind of like a backstage view to what it could really be like to work as a super trainer in Beachbody. So with all that being said, I'm going to link her actual video down below if you want to go check it out. I'm not going to be blurring her face because it's an important topic to talk about the actual person, so I don't need to blur her face out. But with that being said, by doing this video and reacting to it does not mean that I agree with every single thing that Chalene Johnson does in her lifetime, because there are other problematic things in my opinion that she has done that I don't agree with. But this video is going to be strictly about Beachbody, about her video on why she left Beachbody, no longer does programs with them and everything like that, because surprisingly, a lot of you guys sent me this. I was like very surprised. Normally I get sent clips and videos and YouTube links, but this is the video that I have been sent the most of people being like, are you gonna react? Are you gonna react? Can you like give us your opinion on this? That's what we're gonna do today. With that being said though, I have to put a little disclaimer out there too. First disclaimer, I'm no professional. I'm no psychologist, I'm no dietitian, and I'm also no personal trainer certified. Now, I do have a bachelor's in psychology where I had taken a lot of like courses on body image, eating disorders, things like that. So that will be a topic in this video. If you are someone that is triggered by that topic, then I don't suggest watching this full thing. It just, in my opinion, this may not be the video for you. You can totally watch the next video that I do upload. So let's get into it.
What I'm about to tell you, please know this has nothing to do with the people who are involved. This is about me. This is my own stuff. This is how I interpreted the experience. But it eventually became really unhealthy for me. It's time. Why I left the fitness industry, why I left Beachbody. It's the video that is so long overdue, and today I'm gonna tell you everything. The quick answer is I am still involved in fitness and I'm still involved with Beachbody, but I have made a decision that I am not going to at this stage. I mean, it could change tomorrow, but at this stage, I've made a decision a few years ago that I'm not going to be doing new consumer workouts. But yeah, I do work out every single day and I still do create workouts, and fitness is still a big part of my life. And in fact, even today, I have a fitness infomercial that's on TV and helping millions of people. It's called PiYo. But in order to understand why it is I made a decision not to do any more consumer workout videos, at least today anyways, I think it helps to understand like how I got here in the first place. I'm gonna like tell you everything.
Okay, so here is where I chopped it up. I skip a good chunk of it. Essentially, all in all, she talks about the fact that she, grew up with a family that was like full of entrepreneurs. She talked about the fact that she went to college to be a paralegal. She also ended up joining Cutco and Vector, the MLM that you go like do the door-to-door sales thing. So she did end up joining that company. And then she kind of talks about her fitness side. So I do think it's important that we do listen to how she got started with Beachbody. It's an interesting story that I didn't know at all. It's very interesting, and it will make a lot of sense as to why she joined Beachbody, why she was a super trainer with them, why she did the workouts, and what led her to leaving. So I'm going to keep some of this in so we can actually see how she joined Beachbody in the first place, because I just think it's important for the story. So the next clip where it starts again is where she kind of realizes that she was working too much with everything that she was doing. She was working like 80 hours a week, doing a million different things, and notice that the fitness aspect of what she was doing, she was also a personal trainer doing like fitness stuff and being a fitness instructor at different locations. That's when she realized that her fitness stuff was picking up more traction than anything else. So she decided that, fitness is probably the way I should go because it's picking up the most traction. I'm making the most money this way. And then that's what leads her into Beachbody. So I think that's important. So let's just start it. Let's hear what she has to say. And then we're going to get into some shady stuff, Beachbody, some shady stuff.
You've got to pick one thing. And don't necessarily pick the thing that you're most passionate about. Pick the thing that you're interested in, and there's an opportunity. And you know, the funny thing is, at that time, every other fitness instructor was asking me, like, can I get your music? Can you write down your choreography notes? Like, your workout, that kickboxing workout was amazing. Can I get that from you? And so I kept giving it to people. And then I started charging people for the music and charging people for the choreography notes. And I'm like, this is the thing. Because all these fitness people love teaching fitness, but they weren't making any money at it. Like back then in the day, we were getting paid like $9 an hour, and you'd spend like 2 hours making up your routines and trying to put together music, and then you'd buy an outfit, then you'd drive to the gym to teach your workout, and then you would spend 30 minutes before class, and then teach an hour-long class, and then 30 minutes after class, and you're getting paid $9. Like, it was a losing proposition all the way around. So I saw this opportunity where I could allow people to just do what they do best. Like, they could just bring out their personality, and I would put the music and the choreography together. And that was the opportunity. I decided to exclusively focus on that. I put everything else aside. Now, hear me clearly. I knew at some point I would go back to those other interests. And the reason why I tell you that is because maybe you're watching this video and you're wondering, what is your thing? What is the thing that you're supposed, like, maybe you're meant to have a business of your own someday. And I think so many people think it needs to be the thing that they're the most passionate about, or the thing that they're going to be remembered forever for, or the thing that they're the best at. And you know what? I just say, pick the thing where there's the best opportunity right now, and you're interested in it, and do it. Because you can change your mind later. That's what I'm getting to. So the first program I created was called Turbo Kick. And this is like 1997, I think. Yeah, probably 97.
97? I was a baby. That was a long time ago when you think about it. We're in 2021, Lord. So again, here she goes into, now we're finally seeing her talking about the fitness aspect of everything.
And I start teaching it in little fitness clubs here in Southern California. It starts getting really popular. I'm selling these workout programs. I'm selling the music and the choreography. And we realized, like, this is a business. And within probably 2 years, it turned into $1 million business. We were certifying other instructors. I looked at the Jazzercise model, and how they were creating these workouts that came out like every month or so, and that they were certifying instructors in their format. And that's what I did. I created a model very much based on that Jazzercise model. And the company was called Powder Blue Productions. And we eventually had, our programs were in, I think, 70 different countries. We had like 65,000, I don't remember how many thousands of instructors who were certified to teach this workout. Eventually, that developed into like its own like tribe, culture. Like, people didn't know me, but like everyone knew their turbo instructor. So like, comment below if you had a turbo kick instructor that you freaking loved, right? And so like, they all built their own communities, and it was so fun, and the music was insane, and it was like rap music and hip hop and techno and like just the best music, like bass, like such great music. And I would put it with, and I learned to mix all the music on my laptop or on my desktop, and I learned how to choreograph and make the music match the movements, and I would add sound effects, and we learned how to license all the music. And then eventually we created other programs like Hip Hop Hustle, which was like Turbo Kick, but a hip hop version of that. And then eventually I created Payo, and we were really successful and super busy. And now we had 2 children, and we realized like our lives were getting out of control. Like, it was so much work. It was so much work. And a lot of that because I tried to do too much myself. I just, at that stage in my entrepreneurship, I didn't yet know how to delegate. And it was about that time that my workout caught the attention of infomercial companies. A lot of people don't realize that, we'd built a multi-million-dollar business before infomercials ever came along. And then when the infomercials came along, that was like, we kept our business going and the infomercial. So now I was creating all these workouts for consumers, and working as almost like an employee for another company, and then running this business with all of this huge staff and tens of thousands of customers, and now millions of fans who you had to do appearances, and it was a freaking lot. And so Beachbody came to us, and actually a few companies came to us wanting to buy Powder Blue Productions.
So did any of you guys know this? I'm gonna try and take my glasses off when I talk to you guys because of the glare, but did you guys know that that's how she got involved with Beachbody? Like, she already made Turbo Jam and other programs, and she had her own fitness business before infomercial companies and companies like Beachbody started reaching out to her to essentially buy her programs, and or then she actually makes programs partnered with that company. I had no clue that was her story. That's why I think it's important to talk about that before you even go into what happens after the fact and what happens when she's in Beachbody that led her to leaving. But this really kind of gives us a backstage backstage view on how actual super trainers or these personal trainers that are in charge of these programs end up in a company like Beachbody. How Beachbody reels them in essentially by buying them out sometimes is something I never knew. So I wanted you to see that aspect because I didn't know that, and I just don't think a lot of people know. So let's continue. Now we're gonna get into it.
It was an obvious fit for us to sell that and to partner with Beachbody. It would make sense for us to have sold it to a competitor, right? Because now I had programs on TV, Turbo Fire, Chalene Extreme, at that time, Turbo Jam, and these were #1 infomercials, many of them, not all, but some of them were #1 infomercials. So we're selling tens of millions of exercise DVDs. All the while, don't forget that I never once felt like I belonged in fitness. That's the truth. I always felt like an imposter. Always. I always felt like you are not pretty enough, you are not tall enough, you are not fit enough. People are looking at you and thinking, who do you think you are? Every single video I did, that was my cognition. That was my thought process. And I'm a really confident person. I don't care what people think about me, but once I got into consumer videos, man, that took a toll on my confidence. A little bit because of you just when you have millions of people watching a video, there's a whole lot of people who love to comment about everything, your body, your voice, your workouts, everything.
So I kind of wanted to talk about this when she speaks about the fact that she felt like she was an imposter. So I'm going to read some stuff about imposter syndrome, but if you've never heard about that, imposter syndrome is kind of just how she said it. It's when you feel as if you don't belong somewhere, or that you're a phony or you're a fraud, and you struggle to feel like you belong where you're at. So APA.org actually stated that imposter syndrome was first described by psychologist Suzanne Imes, I hope I pronounced their names right, and Pauline Rose Clance. They both had PhDs, and this was first talked about in the 1970s. So imposter phenomenon occurs among high achievers who are unable to internalize and accept their success. They often attribute their accomplishments to luck rather than ability, and fear that others will eventually unmask them as a fraud. I thought that was really important because it is something that people actually struggle with, thinking that, they're gonna be found out one day. And that's what is something that she struggles with, and she makes YouTube videos about and things like that if you want to see her talk a little bit more about it. But I also think it was important that she talked about the consumer workout aspect and people commenting on her body and everything like that, because clearly when you're doing something like now making workouts for people and working with a company like Beachbody, where you're making programs for other people to consume and use in efforts that, they will sign up, they will buy your product because they want to achieve something, whether it's like lose weight, gain weight, whatever. So I think it's an important lesson just about social media in general. This is just gonna be my opinion on this, but I think that this can lead for a lot of individuals like her, who was like a super trainer for Beachbody, feeling very inadequate or getting to a point where they start doing a lot of unhealthy things within themselves because they're being judged so much. So I think that this just brings us into a little backstage view of how a Beachbody super trainer may feel and how she felt when she was doing Beachbody workouts and when people started commenting on her body. Let's continue.
So that's hard in and of itself, but then the industry in and of itself just took a toll on me. And what I'm about to tell you, please know this has nothing to do with the people who are involved. This is about me. This is my own stuff. This is how I interpreted the experience. But it eventually became really unhealthy for me. And, sometimes there would be like a cameraman who would be like, oh, hey, you might want to, pull your elastic up a little bit on that side. You've got like a fat roll coming out. Or, oh, you might want to, change your angle a little bit because we're seeing your skin crinkle. Or someone commenting like, I think your video series would do a lot better if in the next one you were leaner. And you hear something like that and you're like, okay, I'm already exercising my ass off. At this point now, I was exercising because I have a normal body. I'm a normal girl. I'm not a freak of nature. And it was really hard for me to get super lean. And so in order for me to do that, I had to continually, because I didn't want to go on a diet, so I just would exercise more and more and more. So now we're talking, I was exercising 3 and 4 hours a day just to try to maintain. Because here's the deal, the more you exercise and the more you deprive yourself, the slower your metabolism gets. So it's just this downward cycle where you're just you're working harder just to maintain. And you can't take any time off of that because your metabolism is so screwed up and your adrenal glands are completely blown out of whack. And it's just this horrible cycle. And then you start feeling depleted. And so what did I start compromising? My sleep. Because I'm like, okay, I'm running these businesses and I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to take care of my staff. I'm trying to take care of my team. I'm trying to motivate them. I'm trying to connect with these consumers. I'm trying to create new workouts and I'm trying to stay fit. And I'm trying to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I want to be present for my kids. So if I'm going to be present for my kids, then I better wake up at 4 a.m. and I better get my, like, at least 2 of my workouts in legit before 7 a.m. So I'm going to have to wake up at 4:30, and then I'm going to have to, be present for my kids during the day and my husband and be the perfect wife and be there emotionally and intimately and do all the things and then I'll have to go to work at night. I'm going to have to go to work, when the kids go down, like at 9 o'clock at night. So then I would work until like midnight or 1 a.m. and then wake up at 4:30. And that is like the least healthy, what I just described is a prescription for early death.
This is where me and Beachbody, we're gonna fight, okay? So things that she said was when she would be going to do these programs, and clearly with Beachbody, what happens is, if you're not familiar, there's the super trainer and then there's people who do the workouts, right? In the video. So if you look at the video clip, I'll play one now while I'm talking. Essentially, you have your person in the front, the trainer who does all the workouts and stuff like that. But then behind them, you have like your production team, everyone who is making sure your mic's working, the lighting is good, filming you, making sure everything is right. To have that production team and people in there telling you, hey, pull your elastic up. Like, can you imagine you're filming a Beachbody workout, right? And you're this super trainer, you're supposed to be like this person that's getting people results, and then in your ear you have like your mic, because they do have mics in their ear when they're doing the workouts, and you're being told, hey, pull your elastic up, you have a fat roll coming out, hey, change your angle because your skin is crinkling, and then them saying, oh, your next video series is gonna do much better if you get leaner. Now in a minute, she's gonna talk about how much she weighed and stuff. She was small, okay? Like, if we're being honest, she's gonna show a picture and everything like that. To hear people saying that after you're already like mentally kind of struggling and not sleeping and messing up your health already, doing 2 workouts before 7, not even including with the workouts she has to do for the actual program to make it, but you're still hearing people say that is disgusting. So in my opinion, when Beachbody talks about health, and this is again just all my opinion, when Beachbody talks about health and we're so healthy and we're not, diet culture and we're sustainable and we're everything that is the epitome of health. That's the epitome of health. That's how you treat your trainers that are supposed to be training people and telling people how to live a healthy, sustainable lifestyle, because that's what Beachbody talks about. So when I see Beachbody talking about that, I'm like, then why are your super trainers hearing this? This is the first time I have gotten to see the backstage view of like what a super trainer has gone through or has felt or their experience, right? Doing things in the back end. And clearly she put a disclaimer in there because she probably, in my opinion, doesn't want to get sued from like Beachbody or something. That's just my opinion. Who knows if it's in her contract that she has to say, this was just my experience. Like, this is just how I interpreted things that were told to me. No, that was what's told to you. Disgusting things. You didn't interpret anything wrong. When someone in a clip says your skin is wrinkling, like, our skin automatically does that. We all are gonna have rolls and stuff that we shouldn't have to feel like we need to pull our elastic up because of it. Like, what? Love to know what you guys have to say down below, but like, when you talk about your company being this epitome of health and like being sustainable, and you teach your reps that it's sustainable, and you try and tell them that, the programs are sustainable and the super trainers are the best of the best, but then you're treating a super trainer like this, you're having production tell this person in their ear while they're filming these clips that they have a fat roll coming out and they should pull up their pants, that they have a crinkle, their skin is crinkling? Like, is our skin not supposed to freaking crinkle? Like, our skin is supposed to just be like this smooth freaking thing, like a baby's butt. So my question to Beachbody, I would love to know, why are you treating people who make your programs like this? And then in all actuality, the person that we're listening to right now, Chalene Johnson, is hearing those things by a whole production team while she's filming these clips, right? And she, in her mind, is struggling, but nobody knows. Nobody knows that this woman is struggling behind the scenes. So if this teaches me anything, I hope it teaches you this too, because when I was watching this video, I was like, oh, I definitely don't trust weight loss companies like Beachbody. Like, hell no, I just don't. I don't anymore, because they want to promote this healthy lifestyle all the time when they're doing this to people behind the scenes, and I'm not a fan of that. So if this taught you anything so far, don't trust companies. But okay, Let's continue. Again, I'd love to know your guys' opinions about that. That part just got me like very frustrated to see how this person is already kind of struggling mentally in the back end. And then to be hearing these things while you're supposed to be making these programs to help people lose weight or gain weight or whatever the program is meant to do, but you're being told this is just very toxic in my opinion. So let's keep listening.
And that's what was happening. Like my health started to fail, and I have ADHD, by the way. But I didn't realize it until age 45 because of the lifestyle that I was living is so, well, it certainly isn't optimal for brain health. If you want to take care of brain health, you have to do the opposite of everything I was doing. I wasn't eating real food. I was at this stage now, I was living, sustaining myself off of, the pre-workouts and the post-workout drinks and the energy bars and the protein shakes. I was afraid of real food because how would I eat real food if I was supposed to be eating all these like processed shakes and powders and bars and like all of that stuff? I didn't know how to eat real food. I didn't have time to eat real food because I was always going to another workout. So I didn't want to feel full. It was crazy. And you don't realize it while you're in it because everyone around you is doing it. Everyone around me was doing the same thing. They're all drinking protein shakes and doing 5 workouts and living in their workout wear and sleeping very little and waking up super early. And we were all just doing it. And I was telling people what I was doing. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, come on, everybody, wake up early. Get your workout done before 5 a.m. Like, come on. You can sleep when you're dead. Little did I realize I was like destroying myself. I was destroying myself. And at about that moment, I got a call. Actually, I didn't get a call. My husband got a call from a producer of the next series of fitness videos I was going to do. And that person, again, don't even try to figure out who it was because it doesn't matter. It could have been anybody. That person said to my husband, I don't know how you need to say this to your wife, but I think her next series would do a lot better if she could get leaner.
The person who said that needs to get fired. So in my opinion, when she says the whole like, it doesn't matter who it is, don't guess it. Clearly we're not gonna guess it. Like, you know how many people work for Beachbody and have over like the past 20 years? Like, no one's gonna be able to guess who it is unless you're someone who actually was like on set with her, or maybe another super trainer, maybe because they've been experienced or have experienced similar treatment or whatever. So for someone to call someone's spouse and say, hey, I don't know how you need to tell your wife this, but her next series would do better if she would just get leaner. And in a minute, she's gonna show a photo of how she looked. In my opinion, how much leaner was she going to get? Like, she was already lean. So I don't know what more we have to hear, what more these Beachbody reps or what more anyone else has to hear to see, or for us to see what is going on behind the scenes of Beachbody and these programs and how these programs are being made. So with that being said, she also talked about the drinking powder shakes because everyone else is doing it. So I don't know if she's talking about just the fitness industry in general, because we see it a lot. I always talk about this in literally 90% of my Beachbody videos, that I am someone who also drinks like post-workout and pre-workout, but I don't like really drink any other like shake thing or anything like that. I just like post-workout, I like pre-workout, but I know that that's not what gives me results or that it's needed and things like that. So as long as you know that things like powders and stuff, cool, they're great, like you can get some protein out of a post-workout or whatever, but you don't need it to get results, and it's not something you should be living off of because having real food is important, okay? But with that being said, I think that she was talking about Beachbody. Again, I don't know if she was talking about fitness industry, because again, in the fitness industry, it's talked about a lot that people have powders all the time. But again, you don't need powders. If you want to get them, but you don't need them to get results. Just saying. If someone tells you that you need them to get results, run the opposite direction because they don't know what they're talking about. But I think she's talking about like Beachbody, because if you watch a Beachbody program, I've done 80-day obsession for Beachbody with Autumn Calabrese, and I did that program. And if you actually like watch the videos, I believe they had a weekly check-in. So at the weekly check-in, each person that was doing the program with the super trainer, Autumn Calabrese, these people would talk about like, this is what I'm drinking every day, this is the kind of food I'm eating, this is how I'm doing, whatever. And each person nonstop every week would talk about the powders they were having.
Is done. You know what to do. Go enjoy that Beachbody performance.
I really like the chocolate recover. I have it with the digestive boost, and it's been like the perfect recipe.
Since I'm a vegan, I can't drink the recover. It's great. They gave me a whole vegan plan so anyone else who's vegan can follow it just like I am. I choose to have my Shakeology, and I put like half a banana or something like that in it, and it still really feels good.
So in my opinion, it's like, I feel like it's highly talked about behind the scenes, and this is again just me assuming, I feel like it's talked about behind the scenes, like to have these powders, right? Because Beachbody's always telling the reps, like, you need to have these powders, you need to be a product of the product. Then when you actually watch their workout programs and actually do the programs and you watch the check-in videos that each program has, they're always sitting there with their shakes. They're always sitting there with like a Shakeology drink or things like that. So it makes me question if it's highly talked about with the super trainers behind the scene, and if it's highly promoted with the super trainers behind the scene, that they should also be like a rep in the sense of like being a product of the product and drinking all these powders. Again, she could be talking about just the fitness industry in general, but this video is mostly about like Beachbody and why she left that, right? The industry of fitness along with Beachbody. So it makes me question how much they're talking about their products to the super trainers and making the super trainers, not making them, but having them drink all these shakes and stuff. And let me just tell you guys, no dietitian, but eat real food. I'm also going to link down below Kat. She is over at Unlock Nutrition on YouTube, and she is amazing, and she actually was talking to me, and I was talking to her actually about this video, and she is reacting to this video too from the perspective of a dietitian. If you want to hear a dietitian talk about this, I will leave the link down below. You can check her video out after mine. I'm just talking about it from like general knowledge, my experience type of thing, not from an actual professional standpoint, and kind of just my experience because I was in Beachbody. I was a Beachbody rep for 2 years if you're just now seeing this video. But yeah, this makes me question all of that, and I guarantee Kat will go through this. She will probably talk about products and how real food is important because she talks to me about that, that's for sure. But I definitely think this is Beachbody 101 with all the products they're always pushing to the reps and stuff. Lord, let's keep going.
Now, at that point, I weighed 115 pounds, 114 pounds, and I was miserable. And when he told me that, I felt like I was standing naked in front of a room full of strangers. I felt found out. Remember I told you I had this imposter syndrome that like at any moment someone was going to say like, what are you doing here? I felt like everyone had been whispering that all along, and it finally just got back to me. What are you doing here? You're not lean enough. And my first reaction, aside from just like sheer humiliation and embarrassment, and then I got mad, and then I decided that the way I would get back and handle it would be to drop more weight, which I didn't know how to do. I did not know how to lose weight. I've never lost like more than like 2 or 3, I swear to God. I've always kind of been about the same weight, like maybe lose a pound or so, like, you know, but like literally, I did not know how to do that. So I decided, well, the only thing I know how to do is to exercise more and try eating less. And that's what I did. I just cut way back the small amount of like processed health food I was eating and exercised even more. I now know that's, you know, orthorexia for sure. Borderline anorexia, maybe. And man, was I miserable. Like I felt like I was gonna die.
Oh, that sentence, I felt like I was gonna die. It gets me every time. So, orthorexia. We're gonna be talking about that for a second. Again, no professional. I learned this when taking my ED courses. I'm gonna call it the OED because I don't want to get like demonetized or my video get taken down or anything like that. So in my opinion, this ED is not talked about as much as other ones, but OED is something that we don't hear about a lot. I actually did a video recently where I just brought this up because someone said it. I believe in an MLM horror story that I did, and I talked about it, and I had a couple people in the comments being like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I think this is something that is being more widely known now and talked about, but people don't realize that having an over obsession with eating healthy is an actual problem. That's what orthorexia is. So the nationaled.org states, as although not formally recognized in the DSM, awareness about OED is on the rise. The term orthorexia was coined in 1998 and means an obsession with proper or healthful eating. Although being aware of and concerned with the nutritional quality of the food you eat isn't a problem in and of itself, people with OED become so fixated on so-called healthy eating that they actually damage their own well-being. So nationaled.org also states that without formal diagnostic criteria, it's difficult to get an estimate on precisely how many people have OED and whether it's a standalone ED or a type of existing ED like anorexia or a form of OCD. And studies have shown that many individuals with OED also have OCD. So that's essentially what it is. You have like a very rigid and strict rule on what is healthy, what is not, and you can only consume healthy foods where it becomes like unhealthy obsession. That's not talked about a lot because again, it's socially acceptable for people to choose a healthy item and people be like, yes, you're choosing the healthy item, you go lose that weight. Yes, when it can be actually very unhealthy. So I know that I believe Kat talks about that more in her video. She told me she did, so I think she does. So you guys will be able to hear from an actual dietitian perspective a little bit more on what that is. I just wanted to read that from the nationaled.org website. So then she said the whole, I was miserable. And I think that goes to show that on the outside, someone can, like she said, look very lean and look healthy because on the outside, people deemed her healthy by what she looked like. But on the outside, you don't know if someone's feeling miserable. You don't really know what's going on in someone's mind. And for her to be constantly reminded by doing these programs of her body and how it should be and that she should be even leaner, I can see why she felt that way and why she felt miserable. So let's keep going.
But I lost, probably about six to 8 pounds, I think. And I'm 5'2". So that looks like 25 pounds on an average person. And I was like, all my muscle was gone. All my energy was gone. My hair was falling out. I could not think straight. My brain was not functioning. I was so irritable. I was so annoyed. My nerve endings felt like they were like on the edge of my skin. Like everyone bugged me. Everything set me off. I was emotional, but I just had to get through to that filming, right? Like I had to get to that filming, get to that workout series. And no, it wasn't PIO. No, I mean, it was a very small series. Most people probably haven't even seen it. This is what I look like when I filmed the series. And when I showed up on set, here's the confusing thing, is everyone told me, you look amazing. What are you doing? What, girl? You look amazing. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, body goals. Oh my, your abs. You have never looked better. It is so confusing to know that what you're doing is unhealthy and damaging and probably killing you, and it's not also sustainable, and have everyone compliment you. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you were a drug addict and people saw you strung out and people said, you look amazing? Like, it's really kind of no different. It's just, we're conditioned. I don't blame anyone because we're conditioned. When we see someone who's lost weight, I've caught myself doing it. You just go, oh, you look great. Like it's such a habitual response, and we've got to stop doing that because you just never know. And that got so confusing because my goal was I'm just going to lose this weight for the series, and then I can't maintain this. Obviously, then I'm going to go back to like what the craziness I was doing before. And
Okay, I didn't pick that up before, but she said, I'm just gonna lose this weight and get leaner for this program for filming because it's not sustainable. I'm not trying to throw shade here, but this goes to show that maybe, not all these super trainers actually look like this. Maybe they know that what they're doing to get the results on the program, like when the program is happening, to get those results is actually unhealthy, but they're trying to sell, right? You're trying to sell a product, you're trying to sell these programs, so you make it look like people can get these results with the program when in all actuality they can't. Like she said, what she was doing wasn't sustainable, she just needed to get through the filming. So again, this is all showing what could be going on behind the scenes for other super trainers because it's what was going on in her mind when she was doing Beachbody. So again, makes me say, in my opinion, Beachbody's not sustainable. What they promote, not sustainable. They think they promote these like, oh, we're so healthy. Well, when your own trainer has to feel like they have to be unhealthy to get the results that are needed to be as lean as you want her to be for your program and during your program, that it's nearly making her like miserable in her life, she's losing her hair. Yeah, not sustainable, not healthy, and not a good thing. I just didn't pick that up before, but now I did. So that is shady. It makes me like wonder really what else is going on behind the scenes.
Got to the workout series, but then after I finished it, it was so confusing. Like I just didn't know what to, like, do I continue? I can't continue doing this. Like I'm going to die if I keep doing this. And I'm not, my personality is off. Everything's off. And it was about that time I went and had my brain scanned. And that was my wake up call. I went and had my brain scanned at the Amen Clinic, and they just said, we know who you are and we know what you do. Please don't take this the wrong way, but you're not healthy. Like, we're looking at your nutrition labs. You're deficient in everything. And your brain is showing the signs of cognitive decline. And you have ADHD, really severe ADHD. You need to make a change. And there's this toxicity in your brain, which eventually we figured out was from sleep deprivation. And, you know, rarely does a life-changing decision happen on one day, but I would say my life-changing decision happened that day. It was that day that I realized I had this gift, this incredible opportunity. Was so fortunate to have this platform of people who trusted me, who believed in me. And it wasn't I was intentionally misleading anyone, but I just didn't know. I didn't know the first thing about health and fitness. I ended up there by accident because I understood business and marketing. But I never took the time to understand what health and fitness really was. I thought it was a look, because that was the industry that I was in. I was in an industry that said, if you're leaner, if your body fat is so low that we can see your spleen, then you're gonna sell more videos. And I thought that's what I needed to do, that's what I needed to be, and I thought it was normal.
Okay, so we're gonna pause here. She said people would tell me I looked great and it was confusing. It's kind of like a reinforcer if you think about it. If you're losing weight in an unhealthy way, like she said she was, and everyone at work is complimenting you and telling you you look great, it's just going to reinforce that behavior because you're being told you look great. You're being reinforced to do what it is that you're doing. So I can see where she's getting confused, like, well, wait, what I'm doing isn't healthy, but like I'm getting results, but like I'm selling products, but like I don't feel right and I'm irritable and I'm losing hair and like, wait, what? Like it's confusing unless you end up like her where she goes to the doctor and she gets brain scans and she gets, blood work done and you see that, hey, this is what you're doing and this is what it's doing to your body. And yeah, I'm glad that like she got the help. Like I'm really glad that she went to the doctor and they were able to tell her like what you're doing, like this is the result that is happening with your body. While you may look lean and people are reinforcing the behavior you're doing, your body is not agreeing with it. So I am glad she went and, seen a doctor and got help and seen what she was doing was not helping her. But with that, she said, I never took the time to understand what health and fitness really was. I ended up here like with Beachbody and all of that because I knew business and marketing. I wasn't trying to like purposefully mislead people. So I can see where she wasn't like trying to mislead people, but yeah, what she was doing was misleading. She was doing one thing but saying another. I don't want to downplay her or anything like that, or like, again, I don't want to shade her, but I kind of want to talk about this in the super trainer aspect of Beachbody. So her being a Beachbody super trainer, or her was being a Beachbody super trainer, to Beachbody reps and to people who are like gung-ho about Beachbody, she was looked at as like the end all be all and a professional. So when I was in Beachbody, I was taught to say things like, oh, I'm not a personal trainer, but like these programs are made by personal trainer and fitness professionals and dietitians and nutritionists. So they are good for everybody. But this is proof right here that someone that may be doing these programs, or maybe the super trainer in this program, may not be the end all be all. It may not be a person that actually knows everything about health and wellness. So I applaud her for being honest. I applaud her for like standing up and going on her platform and telling her story. But again, to me, this should prove to Beachbody reps, and I really hope that Beachbody reps see this video, but I really hope that to Beachbody reps, this is gonna teach them that like even a super trainer may not be doing something that is going to be healthy and good for everybody. They should not be giving these programs to people saying, hey, this is made for fitness professionals and things like that, because right here we can see that this person is even telling us like she didn't know much about fitness. She just knew much about she just knew stuff about like business and marketing. So I hope that this helps some Beachbody reps like open their eyes and see that just because you're taught by Beachbody to say things like, or taught by your uplines to say things like, yeah, these programs are made by real trainers and dietitians, so everyone should use them. Just because you're taught that, I believe they're actually taught that to legitimize Beachbody and to make Beachbody more legit so that people will sign up with them. I think that that's what's happening, but I hope that it proves that these super trainers aren't like a gift from God. These super trainers aren't like the end all be all, and that they shouldn't be using that statement anymore. Just gonna say that because I even learned that from Beachbody to say that whole spiel that I just told you guys, but I think that it was kind of taught to the reps, or is taught to the reps to say that to, again, legitimize Beachbody and the company. So just my opinion that not even all super trainers may be the best when it comes to being a fitness professional. I also think that not all programs are made for everybody, and if you do want like a specific program actually made by a personal trainer, just go to a personal trainer. Go to a personal trainer that can actually make a program for you as a person, or go to a dietitian that can make a plan for you and tell you the exact calories that you should be intaking for whatever goals you want. So I feel like just go see an actual personal trainer, or hire like an actual dietitian if you have the privilege to hire one. That's just my opinion. This made me realize, like, dang, that whole statement to legitimize Beachbody is real messed up, because you never know. So we're gonna listen to the rest. Again, I do cut out some points at the end because she kind of plugs her business and we don't need that here. So there's about 2 minutes left. We're going to listen to the rest of it.
And it was that day that I realized, like, I need to figure out what the heck health is. And I was very honest with you, and I said, guys, I'm taking a break. And I'm going to figure out why I'm unhealthy and what I did. And I'm going to document the process, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm no longer going to lead you astray. And I'm going to tell you that everything that I've done up to this point, I've just listened to what other people were doing too, and I have never done my research, and it took me about 3 years to really reverse all of the damage that I had done, to figure out how to repair my brain, to figure out how to eat, how to eat the right nutrients, to figure out like what my body needed, to understand like I had to, like, it's a mental addiction. When you feel like you need to work out for 3 hours a day, like that is a mental addiction. That's orthorexia. And that was a hard habit to break. I had to break the habit of waking up early. I had all these things, all that. While I was doing that, and I stepped away from fitness, people were very angry with me. They were accusing me of like holding out for more money, and accusing me of oh, maybe she got fired, maybe they got rid of her because she's old, like all these dumb things. Where I'm like, no, it was a mutual decision. It was my decision. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna be honest with you and tell you, it never got me that excited when people would come up to me and be like, hey, do you know I lost 40 pounds with your workout? Because I never felt like that. I didn't do that. You did that. So that never felt like a compliment that I could accept, because it's like you did the work, because a whole millions of people bought those workouts and never did, and they haven't even opened them. You did all the work. That compliment is deserved to you. And when people would say like, oh man, just like all the compliments about the workouts, I love that. But there are people out there who are better. And there are people out there who are meant to do this. And God bless them. But it doesn't set me on fire to know that you've lost 10 pounds. And don't take this the wrong way, but I don't care what your body fat is. I don't. I also don't care if you skip your workout today. I want you to be healthy. I want you to figure that out. But most of all, I want you to know that God put you on this planet for a purpose. And you just need to understand how to bring that out to the world, how to share your message with the world, how to package it, how to market it. And I freaking love that. And it's what I was built to do. It's what I was meant to do. And all of this happened for a reason.
Okay, so again, I kind of chopped up the ending because she low-key started promoting herself. And I was like, we don't need that. We don't need to know about your other businesses. We here for Beachbody. We want to know the tea. We want to know what really happened. So again, I do want to say that like I am really happy for this individual. Again, I don't agree with everything she still does when it comes to her other businesses, whatever, but we're not here for that. I am really happy that she was able to realize that what she was doing was just not serving her. It was very unhealthy, and to come to that conclusion is not an easy thing, especially when we see that what it is that she was doing was clearly making her money. Like she was making good money and stuff, and sometimes money can blind people and make people not do what's right for themselves or for others because of the money. So I am happy that she realized that it was not doing anything good for her mentally and physically, and it does take strength to step away from something when you realize that it's going to hurt you in the end or is already hurting you. So the main point that I want to talk about towards the end of this that I was like clapping for was when she said, it doesn't get me excited when people come up to me saying they lost 40 pounds because of me. Like, no, you did the work and deserve the compliment. Now, she should give herself a little bit of credit. Like, you did do the programs. Like, you put yourself through hell for this company, like for these workouts. Like everything you just explained, you went through it. You went through a lot. Your health went through a lot, physically, mentally, everything you went through a lot. But like besides that, I love this because so many times I have said this. I've been saying this for a long time because I remember when I was in Beachbody as a rep, myself included, and other people would attribute their fitness success to Beachbody. Like everything was because of Beachbody, to the point where the MLM became a part of the person's identity. So saying things like, I would not be able to do this without Beachbody, or I would not be able to do that, or I would not be able to live my life without this company. You're just not attributing your success to yourself. Because when it comes down to it, yes, Beachbody programs are there. They aided you maybe in helping you lose weight because maybe they gave you workouts to do, whatever. But in the end, you're the one that was in a calorie deficit. You're the one that woke up every day and chose to move your body and chose to be in a calorie deficit and things like that. Like you did that. So many times I feel like the MLM itself, when you're a rep, and it does happen to actual customers, but I think with this MLM, the actual MLM became a part of the identity in a very unhealthy way for a lot of people, that everything they do, especially their fitness journey and their health journeys, become all about Beachbody and nothing about themselves, which I just find intriguing. Like, I want to know why that happens. Maybe I have to look a little bit more into that. But like psychologically, I'm very curious why it becomes like a part of the person's identity in a sense. So in my opinion, just like she said, thank yourself. Be grateful to yourself for choosing to wake up and be like, I'm gonna move my body today. Whether you worked out, you went for a walk, you took all the steps in the world today, you did your 10,000 steps for the day. Like, be grateful for yourself for putting in the work to feel good, or, you know, to hit the results that you hit, not the MLM. So I agree with her there. So now we're gonna look at some comments. Again, I'm linking her video down below because her video is my source, you know? I'm linking it down below if you did want to go check it out. I don't even remember there being many ads on it because I did watch it, even though I did download the video. I wanted to look at some of the comments because some comments were like praising her, right? Some comments were like, thank you for finally like speaking out and telling us what happened, because it's not easy to talk about like PEDs and things like that and things you've struggled with and where you went wrong and your health, like all of those aspects like aren't easy to talk about. And some people express their actual stories. I will blur them because they did tell their stories like in her comment section to, I don't know, I feel like leaving it blurred, but you can go look in her comments if you want to check it out. While some people told her like, well, no, you did help me. You did make these programs and I, you know, have gotten great results because of it. A lot of people agreed and said that they've also struggled with things she's struggling with because of Beachbody. So let's read some. One comment says, do you think you're the only one who feels or have felt that way? I went from obesity to anorexia in 12 months following P90X in 2010. More people need to hear this. I would bet anything that Beachbody is the #1 company who leads people to ED. Again, this is just this commenter's opinion. Even a super trainer's experience is what I experienced. It's time you do more than selling journals and classes on IG and help people to understand that not eating enough is unhealthy. Overworking out is unhealthy. Maybe the purpose is for you helping people heal the relationship with food and fitness, especially when the programs you created are part of the issue. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone should be. We need doctors, firefighters, etc. But there are 4 million Beachbody subscribers that might need help in this area. Thank you for sharing, but I don't think this is enough. Do more and help people understand that a 3-day detox where you eat about 900 calories is starvation. This person is right in the sense that like, not eating enough is unhealthy. The fact that Beachbody has like a 3-day reset, Beachbody, in my opinion, you're not about health. You're not about sustainability. What this super trainer went through, like this person said, if she went through it, the commenter, and a super trainer has gone through this, like how many people are low-key going through this that are in Beachbody right now, that are just not saying anything, that are staying silent, that are struggling with the same thing she is? How many people that work within Beachbody that are super trainers and things like that are going through this or have experiences or have seen this? So I agree with that. Then someone commented, same, I was anorexic and exercise addicted because of T25 and Insanity Max. The push from some of the trainers and a lot of the coaches is too much. 6 years later and still trying to recover. Again, another person's experience where they quoted the coaches. Shout out to you, girl. Shout out to you because you quoted them, because these Beachbody reps are not like professionals. Even this super trainer admitted, or this ex-super trainer admitted that she wasn't even a professional. So a lot of these programs, in my opinion, could hinder someone's health, as we're seeing with some of these comments. And I agree that like some of the trainers and a lot of the coaches push too much. They push like this healthy eating in an unhealthy manner, push these 3-day refreshes, which I've done once. I need to do like story time about that because my husband almost went to the hospital and passed out because of it, but we're gonna skip over that. But like they have these things and these reps and stuff push this so much that it's really unhealthy for some people. Then I'll read one more comment. You were the only real one I remember and respect from Beachbody. Yes, the fitness industry is toxic in general, but Beachbody is a different monster. They started to capitalize on EDs and restricting. And besides you, I wish I had never heard of Beachbody. It took me years to love my body again after I stopped following their programs. Now, this isn't everyone's story. Everyone's gonna have a different story. But when I start seeing this trend, right, which I started seeing when I quit Beachbody or when I was thinking about it and actually doing my research, when you see a trend of people saying the same thing, there may be a problem there. So in my opinion, there is a problem. And like even this person said, like, it took this person years to love their body again after doing a Beachbody program. I do think they capitalize on like restricting because of their nutrition plans and things like that, in my opinion, can be very restrictive, which is why you should see like a dietitian if you want to get your calories. I would recommend looking at the comment section if you guys want to engage or talk about it there or see what else other people are saying. I just thought those comments brought up good things and they were actually at the top of the comment thing, so a lot of people liked it. All in all, let's break it down. I think that this truly, number one, showcases what may be happening behind the scenes with Beachbody, what may be happening behind the scenes with these super trainers, and specifically what did happen in Chalene Johnson's experience. And it opened my eyes a little bit, because even though I was a Beachbody rep and I experienced a lot, I didn't experience, you know, dealing with the production team and all of that with Beachbody. So I love that she came out and did this video finally, and she let us hear what in her experience and her mind was going on. But with that, I do think it's very eye-opening and showed me exactly what I have already been feeling from Beachbody, what I have already been making videos about. And I know again that this video is probably going to get a lot of Beachbody reps that are very, very mad at me, but it is what it is, and this needed to be talked about. And I think the message that she is saying should be talked about, and people should be having conversations about it, because it's not right what she went through, what production and stuff did to her, and what she experienced when she was a super trainer and in what she calls like the fitness industry. So in my opinion, I do not think that Beachbody cares about health. Do you? Do you, after watching this video, think that they care about health versus caring about money and what can make them money and what can make them look good and what could attract people to want to do their programs? Because to me, I believe, and in my opinion, I think that they don't care about sustainability or creating a healthy lifestyle for someone, or creating something that someone could do long-term for the rest of their life without doing things in an unhealthy manner or having like complications with their health. I think that this is a company, and that this company cares about money, how they can make more of it, even if it's hurting people along the way. And it's very unfortunate. That's just my opinion. That's just what I believe. So I would love to know what you guys think about all of this. I will link down sources below for us talking about imposter syndrome. I will leave some sources down below from the nationaled.org. It's like the whole National Eating Disorder Association, all of that stuff. And I will also link down below Shalene's story, because again, I cut the part out where she talked a lot about like her story, but she does have a link on her website that talks about it if you want to know a little bit more about her going through college and all of that. I don't know if you guys will, but I will source it, and I will also source the link to her video down below. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, I did make an announcement in last Wednesday's video where I talked about the fact that I did make a vlog channel. So from now on, starting this week, I will be uploading Mondays and Fridays. We will be talking anti-MLM, commentary, and things like that from now on. So I will be uploading Monday and Friday, and on Wednesdays, my lifestyle content and my vlogs will now be shifted to my vlog channel. So I will link down below my vlog channel, and thank you so much for the support on a second channel. You guys are awesome. But if you guys just love commentary and, you know, talking about MLMs and scams and things like that, then this is the channel for you. So I will see you guys on Friday.